We're back here, Ethan Clerc podcast show, episode 62, back at the Bark Center in Windham, Minnesota. Good to be back.
62, good to be back.
62.
Damon and I haven't been on together in a while.
I was going to say,
Colin.
yeah, you guys probably don't know each other.
Yeah.
Damon, good to have you back on.
Good to be back.
Damon's been busy here the past couple of weeks, getting finishing stuff up for work, and then kind of taking some time to get stuff done because you're always busy at work.
Yeah, I don't like the term me time, but I guess kind of me time.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I mean, everyone needs it.
Yeah,
So
everyone needs
Damon's been busy, but we're good. It's good to have you back here, Damon.
Good to be
And
back.
Just to let everyone know, right now, this is more than ever the most important time. We want to hear what you have to think about the podcast, topics that you want to hear, and suggestions about who you want to get on the podcast, because we're just trying to keep it going and keep it as refreshing and like new and like, entertaining as
light,
possible.
fun,
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
in.
and light, fun, and like there are ideas that you might have, and we want to hear them. So if anyone has any topics that we haven't talked about, or maybe something that we did talk about but we never covered it enough, then this would be the time.
We were talking about having a call-in show, but then that might got a little garbled. So we're like, how about you just send us your
things, and we could kind of break it up into episodes. And we do plan on having more call-in shows in the future.
Yep.
But for right now, we're just going to kind of break it down into different things, and we'll get back to that.
And we're going to run one camera now.
Yeah.
Because we knew we wanted to run a camera because everyone wants to see Colin.
Yeah.
That's why we get a lot of our viewers.
We would have lost some viewers without the camera.
Yeah, we're eventually going to get back to the 3-camera setup. For right now, we're going to go back to one. It's just a really busy time of the year, and the editing between them took a while. So the 1-camera thing for right now, the GoPro, is going to capture all 3 of us, and eventually we'll get back to the 3. And who knows where it'll go from there? You never know.
Speaking of cameras, that you asked me what I've been doing, and I've kind of been getting my Christmas gifts early, I guess, for myself. And I got my dash cam, and I got some trail cams, and I've just been having fun. Yeah. I mean, just to like document or like catch things on the road when you're going. Or,
it's a hobby. People have
more,
YouTube channels.
I didn't really get it for like an accident. I didn't really get it in case I got an accident or anything, but just to see. And then like the trail cams for wildlife now in the wintertime. Because I was at my folks' house, and there was like deer coming up, and caught a gray fox here in Windham.
Might catch a wilder demon.
Demon.
That's what the dash cam's for, I guess.
And speaking of wilder demon, we are going to be releasing the long-awaited wilder demon tapes. We'll call it.
I haven't even seen those.
Next week, and this was an investigation that we did. Very scientific. We did this. It was, when was this, Colin? This would have been the end of summer.
I don't know.
End of summer.
2-3 months ago.
Me and Jordan Allen and Tylen and Colin went out and went along right where I hit the original wilder demon, and we took video. And so that full investigation, what we saw that night, will be coming out here.
We walked quite a bit that night.
Yeah.
Searched deep and far.
Deep and far.
You should have brought like trash bags and cleaned the ditches and like did 2 things at once.
Yeah.
2 things. Yeah. That will be coming out next week, though, because I know that's kind of been pushed off. And then I was going to ask you guys, this is like directly on the podcast too, if we should do like the follow-up episode we talked about for so long, the Wilder Demon follow-up episode.
Yeah, I suppose we better.
Because I mean, you probably didn't finish that book, but you got into it, right?
Yeah.
So you got a little.
I found it today again.
Really. And for people that don't know, Damon started reading a book by
Henry Whipple.
Henry Whipple, who lived in Stoughton, Minnesota, or not Stoughton, Jeffers, Minnesota.
Yep.
And
founded the Beck School.
Yep. There used to be a big
1900s.
school in the early 1900s, and just a very mysterious man.
Yeah, very different times too.
Yeah.
And Mason might have seen him.
Yeah, we don't know. And for people that don't know much about this, I'll put a link in the description about what we're talking about. The Wilder Demon is a local mythological creature that I hit with my car a year ago. And
he's still living, though.
He's still living because other locals came forward and claimed that they have seen him. So
everyone get dash cams and don't specifically drive around, but just in case.
Yeah, I wish I would have had a dash cam because this whole thing would have been solved already. Yeah, we could have gone back frame by frame.
We're gonna put a trail cam out there on the highway.
Yeah. Well, for the dash cams, Damon, the thing I was going to say is it's probably good because if anything ever happens, if you have to go to court, you have the evidence.
Yeah, I didn't really research how that holds up, but I suppose you would.
Because you have the date, the timestamp, the date stamp, and you said the GPS.
And the GPS is on there too. You can actually see a little map and where your car travels and everything. So you better keep the speed limit, though, if you put that in court.
Well,
if it's your fault, you better rip that off.
Is it inside the car or just outside the car?
It's inside, and I have it so it's out of sight, so it's like right behind the rearview mirror, pretty much. So I don't even know what's there. And then like if you're coming on, it's not an eyesore because I don't think you're supposed to block your vision.
Oh no, I meant like is it videotaping in and out?
Oh no, just outside.
Okay,
just outside.
You didn't want selfie mode?
Colin, we already have an issue with that.
Just outside, no selfie mode. I suppose you could do a selfie mode and then go with it. It does have audio, so you want to shut that off if you're going to have any intense conversations with your passenger.
Oh, it records audio too.
It records audio. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I don't know. I guess
Black Friday was
Black Friday deals.
Cyber Monday.
I don't know much about dash cams, but I feel like for a lot of our road trips and stuff, we need one because we could capture a lot of really interesting stuff.
Yep.
So that'd be the way to go.
Catch us speeding all the time.
The first thing I caught were people blowing through the square when I always make sure I make a full stop and they just roll right through.
I can definitely see that. And we catch a lot of crazy drivers out there. Well, to get into what some of the stuff I want to talk about this week, let me give you a basic rundown of where I got this idea from. We were in Target the other day, and we were with our friend Hunter, and she was shopping for clothes, and we weren't much helped. I'm sorry, Hunter, but we were not much help at all. But the one thing
That's tough to believe.
The one thing I noticed was a lot of the clothes I was looking at, we were in the female section for Hunter, and a lot of the clothes reminded me, even though I wasn't alive at the time, I know a lot about the 70s and 80s, it reminded me of that time.
It's coming back.
It's coming back. And you want just guess some of the things, Damon, you were alive during the time, like the 80s. What are some of the things
I'm gonna say more
girls would wear?
Well, now it's wintertime, so maybe it was a little different, but it was a lot of neon colors. It was a lot of crop tops over the shoulder type things, like leggings probably.
Would animal print
Zubas became a thing in the 80s, so I could maybe classify them in those. Those were almost like sweatpants that had wild prints on them and everything. So
we were seeing weren't we seeing crew neck cheetah print?
Big oversized not sweatshirt because it didn't have a hood, but a crew neck animal huge fuzzy jackets and and there was 80s neon
pajama
onesies.
Oh sure.
And there was I have a video of it too. I should have sent it to.
No, those are comfortable. Those are a must-have.
But everything I was looking at, I'm like, God, this really looks like all 80s retro attire. Yeah. And then I started doing research on it, and I realized that, dang, a lot of things that were popular in the 70s and 80s are coming back.
See, and that's pretty cool. I was thinking about how often when the decades come back, because the 70s with disco and all that, they kind of came back a little bit, maybe in
with
the 90s.
Electronic
but not so
music.
much in the stores so much. It's you had to go to thrift shops to get it or things like that, I think. Or maybe they were making some bell-bottoms and things like that. But I've noticed too, now it's been, 10, 20, 30 years almost since the 80s?
Yeah.
So.
Well, why don't you say vinyls and retro games are coming back?
Go to the Chrome browser. No, Chrome.
Oh.
And go to the first thing there. Read that for me.
Vinyls is poised to outsell CDs for the first time since 1986.
This year, in 2019, maybe into 2020, vinyl records will surpass CDs in sales. But we have to get something out of the way. CD sales are probably tanked.
iTunes.
Yeah, and
Bluetooth
But here's the thing: you go to Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Barnes and Nobles, any of the big stores, they all have vinyl now.
Yeah. Oh,
have
really?
you noticed that? Oh, they all have vinyl.
I haven't been.
They all have vinyl.
Been in there.
And they're expensive too. I don't know how much was a vinyl record when you were growing up, David. How much was?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I don't exactly recall. I know my parents were probably buying them, but I was probably when I was a kid, it was more tapes, so I didn't buy a whole lot of records, but we had them.
Yeah.
My parents had them. I actually do buy records now. I'm part of the
really,
a lot of the bands we listen to put out records.
I bought some records too. I bought a vinyl player, a record player. Here's the other thing too. The 80s was the tape cassette, and the 70s was the vinyl, right? In the 80s,
I guess you could maybe say that.
80, what was it? 80, 83 to 90 something was the tape cassette was huge before CDs.
And somewhere in there was something called an 8-track. That was even before my time.
Yeah.
But you put it in, you could hit a track to go to, and I think there's 4 tracks on each side. It would be 8, but.
What does it say the sales are going to reach count for vinyl? 2019 mid-year report, which came out Thursday, vinyl records earned 224 million.
So I like it because
on 8.6 million units
in the first half of 2019. That's the first half.
We're going to be talking about nostalgia, and I think there's something to that with the record where you're kind of interacting with the music almost, and there's you have a little crisp crackle to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's there is a different sound to it, and you can get some really nice players now. The players I have, I've gotten on auctions or like estate sales
Yeah.
that I do, and then just kind of keep the best one or sell another one or have a couple around. But
they're selling brand new, like the one I bought was a brand new record player. And like
Yeah.
you go to Walmart or Target right now and they have brand new, like they have all these brand new record players. So it's definitely like,
Yep.
it's not just something, it's like, it's definitely a trend.
well, and now it's so fun to go
coming
find
back.
those the old records that are
Yep.
like at sales, like you can pick up fairly cheap.
Yep.
Like in down at the eatery, we used to sit there and listen to the record player and we'd have all collection of all the albums and throw them on.
We were in me and Bauman went to New Ulm and they opened up a brand new record store downtown. And the guy, the guy that owns the record store there owns 8 in Minnesota, and he keeps opening them. He said right now
Does he own the one in Mankato?
he owns all of them. Yeah, I don't think he owns the one in Mankato, but he owns. I'm not for sure. I shouldn't say that. Maybe he does, but he owns the ones in the cities, the Twin Cities area. He owns a bunch of them. He said right now is like prime time for records. They're coming back. People have like an renewed interest, and is it going to be a fad? Is the question? Is it going to be something that only lasts for
Vinyls are what, like $26?
Oh, I was gonna tell you, brand new vinyls right now, Damon, are like $30.
I bet, and then it could also be an investment too. Like if you find the old ones, like
Yep.
some of those Beatle ones, like
Yep.
It's
Well,
cool
White
hearing
Album
like
and-
music we listen to on the record player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bought like an REO Speedwagon and Bruce Springsteen vinyl, and then I also bought what's the other one I have? Oh, Deliverance, the banjo.
oh geez,
I hear that. playing
What's
in
the
house.
what's the thing called? The banjo Deliverance.
yeah.
What's it? Dueling Banjos?
Dueling
Dueling
Banjos.
Banjos. Yeah.
Well,
I
about
bought that.
10 years ago, my brother and I think he bought. I know he bought some too, but the punk bands are all coming out with them. So
Oh, yeah,
a lot of times
sure.
they were coming out. So we have a lot of those. And
For
some
work,
Mankato
we have
groups.
Secret Santa going for like all the managers. I asked for a hip hop vinyl,
Oh, nice.
so hopefully I get a good one.
I have a real cool one from Burlesque of North America. They put out a hip hop remix vinyl like
Oh,
a few
really?
years back. Yeah. Real
You know,
cool.
here's another funny thing. We were doing this thing and we needed a VHS player, and so I bought a VHS player, and I
have one. I gotta get.
or a VCR. It's called VCR. No, I keep calling it VHS player. We were looking for VHSs, and we went to there's a record store in Mankato, and we went there, and I wanted to get horror movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, all the classics. You know,
One of the best things about the 80s, the movies.
Yeah, for sure. And the guy told me they did not have hardly any. They had no Halloween classics. They had a couple horror movies, but no Halloween classic movies.
None of the
really
popular,
traditional
good ones.
pop culture films. They didn't have Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. And I asked the guy, and he said, "Oh, those were gone. Like people come in, they buy all of them if they find them. Those are they're like rare, they're valuable.
Oh, wow.
Horror VHS tapes, if anyone finds them. And right now, VHS tapes in general are worth a lot of money, and VCRs are worth money too. People don't like.
Oh, geez, I'm sitting on a gold mine then.
Yeah, like you go look
David's
up.
like, I got like 25 in my
My
apartment.
parents, I've been helping my folks clean their house.
VCRs are worth money. If you have VCRs, VHS, anything retro is coming back. And this kind of ties into the next thing, arcade machines.
Yeah.
Coming back right now.
Yep.
The next article pulled up there, Colin.
While Colin's pulling up, I have a quick question. Those record stores, are they strictly records? Do they have like books there too, or vintage, like things like that?
The one in New Ulm is strictly records.
records.
And they might have a couple CDs, but the one
Coffee
in
shop at all?
no, just strictly records. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
Like you'd think it'd be half and half. The one in Mankato is all records. They have the basement is loaded with old records, and then they have VHS and DVDs down there and some CDs as well. But the one in Mankato is awesome. If you've never been there, Toontown. It's been in Mankato.
It's huge.
It's
There's
huge.
a basement.
There's a basement. It's massive. And
back rooms. It's crazy.
and I've bought a couple posters from there too, and that's where I bought my record player from actually. So it's definitely
Cool.
if you're in Cato, go check
We'll
it
have to
out.
go.
I highly
it's in Old
recommend.
Town.
Yeah, right in Old Town where we live. Look at this right here. The toy of the year for 2019 was Arcade 1-Up, and we have 2 Arcade 1-Up machines in our house. We have the Golden T1 and the Rampage one. They won an arcade machine company won the toy of the year
Really?
of 2019. Who would have known?
Who would have known? And that's awesome you bring that up because that was a big thing in the 80s too, and it's coming to be Christmas time here.
Yep.
Like the hot toys, and you had Atari coming out in the
Yep.
early 80s.
Yep.
And you had Nintendo coming out in the late 80s.
It's awesome because it's the classic games that
Yeah.
are still in like the classic machines.
Yeah.
But they're
But
a little
smaller and they're easier because if you buy, we just got a Cruisin' USA machine, one of the actual old And that's not even that old. That's from '95. The Cruisin' World is from '96. Actually, we have one of those in our house, and if you were to buy one of those. We had to fix it, but if you were to buy one in good condition, $1,500.
Yeah.
But they're selling theirs for under $400, sub $400, which is amazing. Because
are they gonna do Cruising USA? Do you think they'll do one?
People are thinking they might release a driving one. They did the Star Wars cabinet. Colin, if you could find a picture of that, they did the actual.
And
if you're familiar, it has
that's
the
hot,
the steering wheel thing on it. If you look up Star Wars Arcade 1UP. Why do you think that arcade machines are a thing when there's like PS4, brand new, state-of-the-art games?
Now the guys who are getting older that have the money and want to relive their childhood.
You think that's what it is?
See those and buy them, and they make good conversational pieces in like your house too, or you have friends over. And,
they do.
I'm just like amazed. I'm like, I don't have to put a quarter in. I can just play Buck Hunter. 50 cents a dollar.
Look at this right here. Those are what the machines look like. They actually have the little handlebar steering, the little control thing on there. So they're getting advanced with
That's
it. There's a really close up picture down there, Colin, of what the actual thing looks like. So they're not, they're actually trying to replicate the arcade machines.
New Star Wars movie coming out in the 20th.
Yeah,
So they've been
Star
picking
Wars,
up a lot of traction.
You also probably noticed that a lot of these 80s movies are coming back. Like they just released a new Ghostbusters, and the Star Wars movies are huge.
They shouldn't
again.
be, but they are.
Do you know, Colin says that, and I love the Star Wars, but I just haven't been watching the new ones.
New ones?
I wasn't making a point not to, but I'm kind of, and it's not like a self-righteous thing. It's not like I made a decision to.
Yeah.
But I got to thinking, like, I just enjoyed like the 3 original ones.
Yeah.
I gave when they came out with the new ones, I gave them a chance, and now it's not. I'm not going to say it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
Because they're good stories. I heard some of them aren't so hot.
That there's money involved. Sure.
But that's not why I'm not watching them. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if it's because I'm just holding on to the original 3, which is odd because
4, 5, and 6 will always be the best.
Yeah.
Were you big into Star Wars when you were younger?
Yes, very much so. I still have my toys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
those
those are worth
a
money.
lot of
Those are
money.
worth money.
Like
Those
Ewok Village, the starships, the
Ewok
walkers,
the McDonald's toys, Colin, they have right now. They have the McDonald's Star Wars toys. Didn't you say there's people coming in and asking you if they have certain ones or whatever?
Well, that happens for a lot of the toys, but
you get
especially when you get Star Wars or
you get the
something
full
like that.
collection and then you put it on eBay. And who would have known that Happy Meal toys would ever
the display,
off.
Damon?
Yeah.
That they put in the lobby.
Everyone wants
people,
that.
Yeah, people bid on those.
Yeah. How
I
much did
remember-
it end up going for?
Which one? Well, we just started the Star
No,
Wars.
but like in the past that you've seen, because you worked there for a while.
I don't remember.
Oh, speaking of VHS, everyone wanted those stand-up things from the VHS stores too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
posters.
video
I know you
rental
guys got
stores.
them.
We used to
Yeah.
ask for those when we were younger.
Yep. Well, I feel like anything nostalgic, bringing back. I don't know why, like it really hits a note for me or Colin or whoever, like our generation, why we care so much about the 80s and 70s.
It's quality product. It was a quality
unique.
time.
It's a time of culture change in the United States where like there was so much unique and cool things going on, creative, like original. Nowadays, there's not much originality. Everything I feel like they just released the new TV.
Well, especially the movie producing and stuff like that.
It's getting out of
and
hand.
sitcoms and
yeah,
stuff. Like,
making a remake of a revamp of a remake of a it's just like how many can you do?
But when we were in the 80s too, or maybe more the 90s, because I was getting a little older. You'd look back at the 60s and we kind of felt the same way. Like
Really?
60s were pretty cool because Woodstock, you had that little movement too. And I never got into the 70s disco. It wasn't me. But like the
stuff.
70s rock was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Towards the end. And
Well, and when you look back at
80s
it,
rock too.
when you look back at it, what are some of like the standout like shows like of back then? Like are shows of today kind of replicating things that came out in like the 80s?
I can
Cheers.
I can remember like being excited for Fridays when you're a kid. Like Fridays mean something totally different when you get older.
Yeah.
But when a kid, it was called TGIF Friday. And like they'd have like your growing pains, your family ties shows, and I'm not doing justice. I'm missing a bunch, but and then
so many
Saved by the
popular
Bell
shows.
was like the
Saturday. I loved that
Saturday
show
morning one, and that's still
growing up.
They still do replays of that.
Yeah,
a
I think we
lot.
mentioned that before. That you probably like it's not very politically correct. A lot of those Saved by the Bells nowadays.
No. Well, and even like you look at a lot of the movies back then, like they're rated PG, and there's like girls with their boobs out.
Yeah.
Like that would never happen because they only had PG and they had
Gratuitous.
PG and R back then.
Right.
It wasn't until Indiana Jones, which I think was 85, the Temple of Doom. That came out, and that was the first movie that was PG-13.
Yeah. Well, my big ones were, and as a kid, I didn't know I was just watching half-hour commercials, but like G.I. Joe, He-Man,
sure.
Transformers. Those were the big ones.
Transformers.
So you'd watch this half-hour commercial every morning, and then you'd have to go buy the toys, you know?
And someone said something, I was watching a documentary or something, and they said that pretty much everything that came out in like the 80s was a really clever product placement. Like if you watch Back to the Future, they showed off that camera. The Panasonic, or I can't remember, I think it was a Panasonic camera, and it was like the first VHS recordable, or like the first portable camera that people could go home and like make their own portable home movies. Yeah. And they showed that camera off in the movie. You know, when you put that next to a time machine, they're both like, they're futuristic. Yeah. How much do you think that Panasonic paid to have that product placement in there?
Right.
You know, and
definitely paid off, though.
Yeah, the studio probably owned Panasonic.
Yeah. Do you remember, Damon, when what the first camera that you remember having, or your family having, or anybody, like the first time you saw like a portable camera?
I can remember.
Not to treat you like you're so much older, crazy old or whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember the first really cool camera I got when I was in college was one of those. It was still like 35 millimeter, but it was like in a special roll, so it wasn't rolled up. And it was a Minolta.
Yeah.
But you still had to get the film processed or whatever, so you put it in there. A lot of them were disposable cameras. Like I know you got those once in a while just for fun, but no. Like it was like a $400 camera, which is ridiculous because it took like the film you just jammed in, and then you could take panoramics with it and everything. That was the first one I remember. Like this is a cool camera. My dad, he had I don't remember this, but he had like the old tape reels, like probably 9mm.
Really?
That he was shooting on.
That's
like,
awesome.
Because we have a couple of family videos. Like,
do you have the old family
way
videos?
Back in the day.
That's classic. Yeah, and that's something that also can move on to that too, where nowadays you don't really. Is there like a photo album? Do families really have photo albums, or is it online?
I don't know. What do you get? You like know?
We do from when
you back up your Facebook pictures.
Because I mean, I was born in '97, and my mom made books for like every year, like '97, '98, '99, 2000, 2001.
You guys should keep doing that instead of on your road trips and stuff. You could make a scrapbook.
We definitely could. We take so many pictures.
We do, yeah. They're the little like 5x7. Because you'd take the pictures on a film camera, and you'd have to go get them developed at Costco or whatever, the film development store, and then you'd print them, or they develop them, give them to you, and then you put them in an album. But are there families that are doing that now? Like I feel like everything's online.
I hope so. I hope like Shutterfly. They're probably
Shutterfly,
still like having the internet involved, but like you don't probably. I couldn't tell you if you could take like your regular 35mm film in and get it developed now, or you have to order them online all the time. But
you can still do. I like whenever I shoot with those disposable cameras, you bring the roll to Walmart.
They'll put them on a disc,
and you send it off to them, and they will actually ship you back a CD. And they'll ship you back like the 5x7 prints.
Nice.
So I actually bought a photo album, and I'm gonna buy some for this weekend when we go to Detroit. A couple disposable cameras.
That's really cool because you can't like take 5 selfies of yourself. You like take one and hope it holds, and then you have the anticipation of what that picture's gonna look like.
And when you get them back from Walmart, it's a
too.
tangible thing. Yeah. And when you get it back from Walmart, and you get like 4 or 5 that are like completely dark or blurry because the camera didn't focus or you didn't have good enough lighting, and then you're like, dang, that's like an actual real moment. It's not something. Let's go set this up and let's get the iPhone.
Well, I think that's why records come back too, because you have that art. It's got to do with art.
Yep.
You have the art of the cover, the back, and then a lot of them. When I remember listening to records, and you like the lyrics were always on the insert. You have a special insert on or something.
Yep.
But it like connects you to it more than just have like a. Not that you need a physical thing to connect you to it, but it's just kind of like you have it.
Well, then here comes the big question. How long do you think this whole revamp or like bringing back these trends is going to last for? Is this like a little...
Might just be a trend right now.
For a trend, and then people are going to forget about it. What do you think?
Are we talking about records specifically?
I'm talking about just like, I can bring up some more examples. Go back to the file, Colin.
For records, I feel like they'll be around. I mean, they've never gone away. They just gain popularity, like come and go. Tapes might be a different story because
the top one,
they might not last as long. Like you listen to a tape a lot, they wear out. Things like that. Same with VCR tapes.
True.
And then when you're watching a movie, like it might be fun to collect the tapes, but unless you want that grainy look, like you're talking about shoot a movie and have like that 80s feel, your tapes obviously aren't as high quality when you're rewatching them.
No. And then you kind of wonder, are people more focused on quality, or are they
just
more
collectors,
collecting?
tapes,
like,
maybe.
is it? Yeah.
Records, the quality is awesome because it's just kind of like raw. And,
it
like,
feels
gritty.
like a real thing, like you're listening to something that was put together, not like the digital. It's just like, oh, it's there. It's like another thing. But like when you have the record, you put it on the thing, you put the needle on it, like it's a real tangible thing. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
In arcades, have you gotten into pinball at all? Because that kind of goes hand in hand.
Pinball
That's
machines right now are more expensive probably than they've ever been.
There's some really.
I've seen a lot of pinball machines in abandoned buildings. Though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's sad because they're torn apart
Yeah.
and they're never going to be able to be repaired.
Yeah. I know. Back in the day, I collected a few back classes. I think I told you that, like with pinball games.
Oh, true.
And like the play boards, like the old wooden ones from the 60s. Have
those are so cool.
Some of those are really cool.
And if they're in good condition, they're worth like 10 grand, like easy, because people will pay. Go to that picture down there, Colin, the one underneath the thing at 70s, 80s coming back. Look at this. This is kind of funny.
DeLorean versus Cybertruck.
Yep, this is going to be a big throwback here. We're some modern thing. Kind of zoom in on that, Colin. So
is that the new Tesla car?
That's the new
that's
Tesla
the
truck. That is the Cybertruck.
Is there a bed back here? Or what?
There is, yeah. Yep. And
like it's open, or you have to.
There's a thing that rolls over it, but there is a bed back there. Like you can put stuff back
30. There. It's what is it? 39,000.
39,000 for the base.
If you haven't heard about it, it looks like a futuristic truck, and it actually looks like a pixelated video game car from like a Nintendo game.
Well, and they're comparing it here to the DeLorean, which was big in the 80s, like a. And
I love DeLorean.
The DeLorean,
like,
that's
DeLorean.
a future car I definitely want. The Time Machine from Back to the Future, for people that don't know which car we're talking about. They only made those until 82, I think, and then it was like 79 to 82, and then maybe they did make them longer. It didn't.
It was
last.
very short.
It was a short run.
Have you ever looked up how much you can buy one for?
You
now?
could buy them for 25 grand. You can buy them for 30 grand around there, depending on the condition. And
with or without the flux capacitor.
Without, yeah. If you buy, you can buy.
Hey,
them.
I used to have a USB charging port, flux capacitor.
Yeah,
awesome.
It broke, but it was sweet. You can buy brand new DeLoreans. There's a company making them in Texas right now. Not the original guys, but they soup up like they soup up like Corvette engines, and they put them in the body of a DeLorean and like brand new interior.
What's the engine on the futuristic truck? Is it like a electric and
no, just electric?
Gas? Just like so. That's why. So it has a lot of torque power, so it can go from 0 to torque like right away.
It outdoes like sports cars. Yeah, it is
for pulling though. Like if you put it up against another truck.
But it pulled Colin, look up the video. Look up Tesla Cybertruck pulling a Ford F-150 uphill.
Nah.
I don't know if it'll.
We don't have to look at that one.
Huh? It's a classic.
But no, the
video.
reason is because if it can get right to where it needs to for the torque, then instead of like having to build up to.
True, then you're not have to. Yeah, but have you haven't seen the video?
No,
it's like a viral.
I saw the video where they threw the metal ball through the window.
Yeah, for the opening reveal of the truck, Elon Musk his friend, one of the designers, threw a metal ball.
You think he wanted that to happen for more coverage?
I 100% think it was a ploy. It was a marketing thing because people would have talked about it if it wasn't. Or if it didn't happen, but people are talking about it even way more now.
Yeah, see, this isn't even fair if this is like. So we're pulling up a video right now.
Yeah, we're pulling up a video. It's the Ford F-150 versus the Cybertruck.
Where the 4-bit truck is going against the F-150.
The 4-bit truck.
From the video game.
The 80s video game truck against the Ford F-150. And the Cybertruck is going uphill. But Ford tweeted at Tesla they want a rematch and they want to be in control.
Are they going to make an electric truck? I mean,
Ford is making an
electric
truck.
I know they will be.
Yeah, but they don't think this is fair.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here.
It's battle.
Oh, of course, it's got to be some commentary.
Well, they needed a 2000 F-150.
Yeah, 2000.
I don't know.
Just skip into the video a little bit more. Like they'll probably show it coming up here. To me,
cars of the 80s. Yeah, I had an 83 Dodge 600.
Was the Gremlin an 80s car? Or was that a 70s
that was
car?
that had to been an 80s. Well, maybe it was more towards the end of the 70s.
Those are pretty dope.
Those are sweet. It was voted an ugly car when it came out, though. Look, here it is right there. Pulling. I don't know if we're going to get it to
then there was
here,
a Pinto.
There it is. Dan, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going against where it can get all of its traction right off the start.
And look, it tightens the rope too.
It
has a head start there a little bit.
Doesn't stand a chance. I mean.
F-150 had no weight in the bed to counter the heft of the Cybertruck and help.
Yeah, and electric vehicles are infamous for being super heavy because of the battery weight, like more heavy than a normal truck, I'm pretty sure. The battery weight, because if you ever watch videos of Tesla cars doing like a flip test, they will not like flip over.
Yeah.
They're so bottom heavy because the batteries are all on the bottom of the vehicle. And so
You're gonna have to go like electric on electric and
and see who can win it.
Yeah.
Go back to the links, Colin. I got a couple more in here to back up the 70s and 80s are coming back. The third link there.
Do you think the Prism would have taken it?
Yeah.
Prism could take anything, Damon. Come on
That
now.
thing couldn't even handle Chicago.
Yeah, my old car didn't even get to Chicago. This here is something that I don't know if you've heard about, Damon. This is kind of funny. This is a classic. I don't know if this is 70s or 80s. I'm not familiar exactly when all this stuff came out. Damon, maybe you can
I'll see
back
what I
this
can
up.
do here.
A very classic. All I'm going to say is a very classic piece of nostalgia is coming back this year or next year. Maybe
If
next
it ever
year.
loads.
If it ever loads.
We're in 2019, but we're still have
I remember.
dial-up internet. Look
well,
at this.
Here it is.
Here's the headline.
Oh yes, I loved my Walkman.
Sony's Walkman is coming back here for the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
Are they making a new one or?
I think they're
Probably
doing.
a digital one. They'll call it a Walkman.
I'm thinking it's actually just like the original. Zoom, go down. That's obviously. I don't know what that is. I don't think that's it. Maybe it is.
I still have my first Walkman. It's all black. It
Really?
opens up- Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's no
Had a lot of
U.S.
playtime.
Release price yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty expensive because they're trying to make like a legacy item. You know is that 80s or 70s? The Walkman.
80s. Yeah. Discman were coming out late 80s, so it was like a Walkman, only it was a disc. Like, played your CDs.
Oh, okay.
Stuff
Yeah,
like-
true.
How popular do you think this will be?
Yeah, I think it's
Revamp.
going to be sold out.
Yeah, it depends on the quality of what they're looking at. Yeah,
Sony will put out a high quality. I feel like it'll be. Is that it? Right there. It is right there. Play that video, Colin, if we can. Probably not with the internet here. It's a Twitter video though, so maybe. The price 440 euros. There's currently no U.S. release. Well, 440 euros isn't a euro half of an American dollar, or is it? I think so.
yeah.
I don't know.
Twice as
Someone
much.
correct that. Let's see here if we can get it pulled up.
There's only 101 people talking about it.
Would you guys ever make? Well, you don't have to make mixtapes anymore. Mix CDs. You can just you make playlists.
We did back in the day when I first got my Prism. We were making.
Ethan used to make CD playlists.
And I'd sell them. All right, I'd give them to friends. I did like 40.
Did you give them
CDs.
to girls? Did you make like sappy ones?
I did. I didn't make sappy ones. I did
Get
give
your
them to
message
girls,
across like subliminally. Like
Yeah, no, it was never
Here's
like
a
that.
CD for
Yeah.
ya.
It was more like I like this CD. Can I get a copy of it? All right, I'll make a copy.
break
of
up 2009.
it. Yeah. It was never that bad. No.
Ethan and Colin fighting. Rock.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a video. I don't know if we're ever gonna get it to load, but
I
that's
don't
what it
think
looks
it's
like
gonna
on
load.
there. And then there's one more link on there, Colin. If you could pull that up, if that'll actually load here. Not that in that thing. Click on the notepad down there. Yeah, there's one more thing on here, and load
Which one?
the link, the bottom link.
Oh,
Yeah.
You didn't tell me which one.
Yeah, well, we've gone through 3 of them. We just have this 4th
Fight,
one.
here it is.
Yeah,
Make a tape.
we're coming back. Let's see if this will blow
Put
it up here.
CD 20 in.
Yeah, CD20. Let's see what this is. I'm thinking it is the fashion one. The fashion.
While this
trends.
is loading, my sister, Cabbage Patch Kids were an 80 thing. Like,
Oh yeah,
like it
those
wasn't.
haven't came back.
I mean, it was just like Black Friday sales. Now people trampling each other to get these dolls and like throw them around, and then there you have counterfeit ones. And
Yep.
like you were super cool. If oh my gosh, you got me a Cabbage Patch Kid, and you don't know it's just like a plastic head doll with curly looped yarn hair.
that's awesome.
And
Yeah,
I don't get why it's
They
so
came with
popular.
birth
It's crazy.
certificates and
Oh, okay.
I remember having or getting
Names.
one when we were really young. I feel like we had one, or Peyton had one. Somebody
Peyton
had one.
had
Yeah,
one.
for sure. Here, this
Happy birthday, Peyton.
Happy-
It's her
happy birthday, Peyton,
Our
yeah.
cousin Peyton.
80s fashion trends are
Birthday's today.
back. Here's
Yep.
how to wear them in 2019. So look at that picture right there. The oversized
Yep.
jackets with the neon colors and
did your friend buy anything at Target?
she did
Did
get
she?
something. And I don't remember if it was she
Some
was holding something that was pretty retro looking to me at one point. I don't think
fuzzy
she got it.
pajamas or something. I don't
Fuzzy,
remember.
yeah. New vintage though they're calling it, and a lot of these 80, like I was telling you, Damon, about Target and other online things. A lot of the trends are coming back, like
Yeah.
big coats, jeans with holes and patches on them,
Yeah.
like overalls.
I saw a lot of ripped. I don't know if that was so much 80s, but I see the fashion now is like where you almost don't have any jeans on your thighs, and it's just like long strands across there or whatever.
I feel like that was at 90. I feel like 90s was a big jeans.
probably more acid wash.
Yeah,
was,
look at this.
that.
Like, that's
80s.
80s right there for sure.
Jabos were huge. Like I saw someone shared like,
Jabot jeans?
Jabot X jeans in the back, and they had a knife pocket, just like a
Those are
pirate
huge.
knife pocket.
Really, in the hip hop community, those
Yeah.
were huge.
Yeah.
Jabot jeans.
Oh
yeah.
Well, that's what I was in.
This
Cross colors and Carl
this is
and I.
ugly right here. Holy smokes.
I've never seen that. Yeah, I'm thinking more like that seems really over the top.
260
Wow,
for that one.
that's crazy.
Bold leather.
You don't see anything like that, do you, Damon?
I don't remember seeing anything like that back in the day. But
What are the jeans? The jeans called with the big open bottoms, like
so I actually did jump on that style for a
What
while.
is that called? What is it called?
I don't remember, but mine were Carl Kanai jeans, and then they had cross color, and then there was Janko.
Look at some of that stuff.
Baggy.
Purple leather oversized jacket, 5,500.
Wow.
It's
Okay, we're getting
Gucci.
into like extreme fashion stuff, but yeah, there's a
Like
lot of
like your T-Win. A lot of your T-Win has like an 80s vibe without you knowing it. I mean, maybe you did plan it, but a lot of it has.
I
like,
do because I like the look of retro. Like my favorite stuff is like color block, like big color blocks on stuff. And
you know, and maybe we shouldn't pigeonhole it just A's because if it's like cool, it's cool. You know, like
It
like,
is.
I think of the neons like ski jackets, especially like ski goggles and jackets,
Old
like
ski
that
stuff.
culture.
Yep.
Skate culture was awesome.
Skate culture right now is really big. The like Thrasher brand and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember reading Thrasher magazines and DMX Plus.
super popular right now.
Nike SB is really popular.
Yeah,
right
Nike
now.
skateboarding.
Nike.
There's so many brands popping up now that are what is it, Neff and Obey, and there's a ton of brands that are
The
coming
neons,
up.
the neons. I mean, the neons would be hot, like the
Yep.
80s neons.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that you look at and you're like, gosh, that looks like retro. Like a lot of
Vans are really popular.
Vans are really popular.
I just saw the new Wonder Woman trailer, and
Converse.
it's going to be Wonder Woman 84. They're going to set Wonder Woman in the 80s.
Really,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
There you
movies
go.
that take like, and we haven't got to that really, but the '80s movies. There's just so many iconic like John Hughes movies and Steven Spielberg movies and
Those are my favorite movies.
Yeah.
culture-defining movies that came out that kind of changed the
Colin, I
whole
should make
industry.
you a list in case you haven't seen a lot of them because they're anything John Hughes just about.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
like,
Yeah, all
Any
John Hughes'
Uncle
movies,
Buck
yeah.
and Ferris Bueller's Day
Yeah,
Off,
Sweet
and
16,
The
Say
Breakfast
Anything.
Club, and yeah, there's so many good John Hughes movies out there that I feel like a lot of our generation does know those movies though because
Yeah,
they're
I think
still
so,
really
too.
popular.
A
16
lot. What I
Candles,
find out is a lot of kids have like heard of them, but haven't
haven't
seen
really
them.
seen
and haven't taken the time to go check them out.
You haven't lived then.
Yeah, and they're so simple. I mean, like when I say simple, not the writing isn't simple, but like the shots are
There's
simple.
no huge CGI,
effects or,
crazy.
like,
There's a lot of practical.
I gotta throw a Caddyshack because I mean I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
that a ton. Like
Yep. Caddyshack. Any of
The
those old
Goonies is
movies.
probably my favorite
Goonies,
movie
gotta
of all
show
time.
Goonies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably because it's like what we do, you know,
Yeah.
exploring all that relates a lot.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, there's just so many good movies that came out that that really a lot of things that drove us and how I got into movie making is because of 80s.
Yeah,
movies
see, that's
and,
cool. Yeah.
And so I don't know what it is exactly. If we could figure it out, why like all this stuff is coming back. But
yeah, I mean, searching inside,
history repeats
yeah,
itself.
History
History
and
repeats itself.
Another nice thing was, you know, technology is great and all, but it was just I don't want to say simpler time because there's still a lot of stuff going on in the world like that was not good. But
Mm-hmm.
like you weren't connected by Facebook, you weren't connected by cell phones. Cell phones were just starting to come out too.
Yep.
You know, and like just the trends you saw were like maybe MTV, they were still playing videos. You know,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
some of the shows were still
Even
new
when
and-
we were younger, I remember, was it MTV?
VH1 was playing a lot of
VH1
videos,
was
yeah.
always playing music videos. Every Saturday morning, Ethan and I would be watching VH1.
Yeah, that's
now
awesome.
now they've kind of gone on the they have their own programming.
That's awesome.
They have their own dumb TV shows
Yeah,
now.
it's all TV. Like,
Yeah.
Once they started doing in the early '90s, once I got The Real World, and it was like one of the first quote unquote reality shows.
Yep.
Then it just kind of like they're easy and cheap to produce. And
Yeah. What about it's kind of funny looking back at this too. Like Video killed the or is it Video killed the radio star or is it
yeah. Video.
Video killed the radio star. Because back then they were worried that video was gonna take over and
Yeah, I believe that was the first video they actually played on MTV. Too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Now that you say that, and now it's kind of like streaming is gonna kill the movie or like movie theaters and video. I mean, video rental
Hopefully
stores
not.
are gone
Hopefully
already,
not.
but people are worried about like movie theaters just not being a thing anymore.
So like you walk into a Best Buy back in the late '80s, early '90s, one of the first things you saw were just rows and rows of tapes. And like CDs, you know, like
Yep.
people were just going up and down buying them.
Yep.
Now, that's not there anymore.
No,
because, you know,
no.
it's like,
Well, and think about companies that have gone under too. Like Radio Shack isn't around anymore. Kmart's down to its last couple. Sears is.
I forgot about Radio
Radio
Shack.
Shack's
I haven't
awesome,
heard that.
yeah.
Radio
name.
Shack is a huge '80s company,
Yeah.
and they really tried hard to make a comeback.
Wyndham had a Radio Shack here in town.
Yeah.
with
I do
local
remember
listeners.
that.
I got my amp there for my car. Like
They were
a
in-
real
it was in
listener.
Wasn't
Ace
it right
Hardware.
by Verizon?
Yeah.
No, it was in Ace Hardware, wasn't
It
it?
was right next to
Oh,
the Higley's parking lot. Like, on the corner there.
Oh,
I
really?
remember it. Yeah.
I thought that they did have one in Ace Hardware.
Down by the they do. They did have one in Ace Hardware, like that little section.
That little section.
But they had like it was Benson Office Supply, I think, and then like Radio Shack down there where that building was abandoned forever.
Huh. It's crazy to see some of those companies that were so big, like Toys R Us too. Did you hear they're making a comeback?
Are they?
Yep, they went bankrupt. They closed. If you drive around, you'll see like an abandoned Toys R Us in like every big city.
We see a lot of them.
But now they're coming back and they're planning on reopening. They've already, I think they're planning on opening up 15 stores this year, and then next year they're going to keep opening them.
Man, it was such a treat to go in there when you were a kid. Like, 'cause, you know, like
I thought it was amazing when we were younger.
Yep.
You had to go to stores to buy stuff. People don't understand that.
Online shopping kind of killed the retail.
I still love going to malls.
You're still going
though.
to Target, though? It's good to hear that you and your friends are like clothes shopping.
We
at
do like
Target.
going to the mall a lot and going to, if we're going to buy clothes, I really like trying them on.
Target's got some good vintage T-shirts for men, too.
A lot of vintage stuff is coming back. I see in Target they had a Save Ferris T-shirt, 86 on it, the Save Ferris.
Well, I knew the times had changed, or like I had gotten older when like I had to scout, like just scavenger hunt for a Red Hot Chili Peppers T-shirt back like in the late 80s,
Yeah.
Like my dad we stopped at like a warehouse in St. Paul somewhere, and they actually, like it was a mail order only, but we went to the place and they let us like walk through.
Really?
Like, and then when I saw one in Kohl's like a couple years back, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Things are coming back.
Things
It's
are coming
weird.
back.
Why not people leave in the comments some things that you have seen come back, or things that you
Hope to come back.
Or if you've seen if you can like compare anything that we're talking about to your own experiences, if you were alive during that time and you're seeing it come back. I don't know if we're back to, I think leg warmers were making a comeback for a little bit. I don't know if they're full circle coming back, but there's some things that have definitely, like records and arcade machines, there's no doubt about it, are popular right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could put some leg warmers on over your yoga pants.
Yeah, their yoga pants are huge, yeah. To kind of transition here, another topic I wanted to talk about tonight was they have finally got the technology for an invisibility cloak. And this is some groundbreaking stuff. And you would probably not believe this, but this technology has been around since probably the 80s, I'd guarantee it, Damon. And you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, dang, I can't believe.
Oh, so it does tie into the 80s here.
It kind of ties into the 80s. Well, maybe, because
we're not talking Dungeons and Dragons.
No. It's actual stuff that you can put like in front of you and you cannot see what is behind it.
Like a green screen or like your backup cam?
Let me tell you this. It uses no battery power, nothing. It's all organic. Just watch this video.
Like mushrooms?
Not that organic.
By now you may have seen the viral videos going around of the new Invisibility Cloak material from Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corporation. Well, Hyperstealth was kind enough to send us some early samples of the material to try out ourselves, and it works as advertised, refracting light around target objects and obscuring them from view without the need for a power
So it's an actual
source.
plastic or
Now let's cut right to the chase
material.
and get into how it works
in front
how
of
it's
you.
made,
Isn't that
and
crazy?
what it could mean
Yeah,
for the
reflecting
military
light.
and
Yeah.
the
So for
world
people
at large.
listening, they have like a plastic material that they
What
can
we have here
hold
is
in front,
version
and
one of the
it
material
bends the
known
light
as
around them
quantum
so you can
stealth.
see through them.
So far, Hyperstealth has filed patents for more than a dozen different versions, each with its own unique optical properties.
I can see they're using
Version
tanks
one
because they're
is
gonna
the
it'd
It'd be a military use, yeah. Yeah, wait
Or
till you hear.
cloaking.
One
Yeah, wait till you hear about
itself
this.
is actually something you're probably already familiar with.
Here it is.
It's a thin sheet of plastic with cylindrical ridges on one side called a lenticular lens.
Now pause it,
This
calm.
technology has been around for decades.
What does that remind you of, Damon? Did you see that stuff? Like when you rub it, it makes a. What do you think that stuff was used for, or has been used for?
I was watching, so they had the plastic and they bent it and they took their fingernails over it.
They're going to, but they're going to show you how it's been around for a while. Can you think of anything though like that kind of it's like a plastic, but it's got like corrugated lines running down
Oh,
it?
sure, like those. It's not an etch-a-sketch, but it's like you draw on them and then you pull the thing and erase them. Maybe.
No, this is a little bit different. Here, I'll just play it.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, oh, how did I not think of that?
Create holographic images like this album cover.
Oh,
that lives
yeah,
on my
yeah.
refrigerator.
Those have been around forever.
Hey, album
Itself
cover,
is
yeah.
the same material, just without
Baseball
any
cards
picture
used to do that in the
printed
80s.
behind it. They even make the same scratchy sound. Listen.
Oh.
It's a clear version of that with no image
Learn
printed.
More about the later versions of Quantum Stealth and how they improve
Isn't that
upon
wild?
version 1.
Yeah.
So I spoke to the man behind the material.
It's crazy.
Guy Kramer, president and CEO of Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corporation, who is no stranger to stealth.
I developed camouflage for militaries around the world, and I've been doing that since 2003, and we have 6 million uniforms that have been issued with our patterns.
Wow.
Guy shared with me how to make the prototype for version 2, which is 2 pieces of version 1 back to back, with a thin layer of water or oil in between.
A lot of people are getting
just
very
gonna say make a
excited
plane
about
out of it. They
what
showed a
they're
plane
seeing with
behind
version
it.
one, and-
Yeah.
and
But,
I have to say that
And the weird thing is, he's about to tell you here that the military did not. He gave the military 2 years to utilize this technology, but they did not do anything. So now he's saying, if they don't want to use it, I'm going to go out and it's going to become a thing that anyone, police forces or whoever wants to use it, can use it.
Well, speaking of Wonder Woman, maybe that's what her plane is made out of. Her
God, you
invisible
know-
plane.
yeah. And
Like,
isn't it crazy
around.
that can hide stuff that's behind it? Like, would you ever have thought that that was the thing that would be utilized to make that happen?
No, I didn't. I've never seen a video like this, and it's like it just makes it a little bit more blurry, but you can still see what's behind it with someone.
Yeah.
I wonder what the distance is, how close to the thing you have to be
Yeah.
standing. Because if you back up enough, you're gonna catch yourself in it too. So there must be like a little window of what you,
Yep.
how far you have to stand behind
Yep.
it.
It's just it's crazy that like, because I remember like the little, like you said, the holographic cards or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the material that's what it is that's been around for that long. Let's see what he's saying here.
annual general meeting and said, "You've been promoting this material to the military since
Well, it's also thermal,
2010.
Yeah.
so it's
You've
blocking
done
his
40
heat through it.
demonstrations
So that's
around
important.
the world, and you haven't made a dime from this material. It's time to secure the intellectual property before someone else does, and it's time to commercialize this and take it to market. I'd probably given an
You think they could make like a suit out of that?
No,
that-
because I think you have to stand so far behind it because it's reflecting.
I mean, they're holding a body shield
Yeah.
with it.
But then you can see what's way behind it. So I don't
Yeah.
know, like, I don't know
True.
if you could actually put it on something.
And he is developing a ton of different patents with it. So there's going to be different things that are going to come of it. And I think, I don't know why the military is not like because they've applied for all these. He's showing the different things here that they have.
The thermal thing alone, I mean, if you put
That's
if
crazy.
you put covers over outposts or buildings,
Yeah.
so like satellites wouldn't see it, or
People that
maybe,
could
like-
hide in there and that people wouldn't know about them or whatever. He's talking here about how if you shine a laser through it, it'll split that laser into like 30 beams or whatever. And so it could be useful for lighting up. They're showing different.
Speaking of trail cams, I think this would be an unfair advantage if you're hunting. If you had like a deer stand made out of one of these, or like
Yeah.
you're just on the ground,
That's,
literally.
I mean, that
Like,
is one thing. He's pretty close to that though. You see how close he is behind that thing?
yeah.
What are they, like a foot away from it? Not even. That is unreal to me. It's not perfect though. It's not by no
No.
means is it
No.
perfect, but it's
It's
getting
close a
there.
little
It's
bit.
getting there.
It's the startup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this video.
I was hoping for
pop
some
up.
Harry Potter stuff, like throwing on a cloak.
Throw it
and,
on,
like,
and I was
Yeah.
and when I saw it, I'm like, oh, there's got to be, because I didn't watch the video yet. I'm like, there's got to be battery powered or something. Like I'm thinking there's like a camera behind the thing, and there's a screen, and then you show what's behind so you can see through it. But that's pretty damn close to without having
That's pretty good.
any battery or
Yep.
anything. You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of crazy.
I know some people that don't like, or maybe really only know one person. Can't remember who she is or he. Don't like the hologram things. Like it freaks them out. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
What are they? Is it like a what do
I
you
don't
call
know.
it?
Maybe
Like
it's some
a
type of phobia. I don't
phobia.
know.
That's what I'm looking for. Is it a phobia to be afraid of
maybe.
holographic?
Holographic things.
So that is some groundbreaking technology that has came out here, and I think military use, and then I don't even know who police. I could see police using it for stuff like that too, but maybe it gets in the hands of the wrong people,
Yeah.
and
It
then
could, yeah.
you never know. Transporting drugs or getting places you're not supposed to be, that could be.
Causing accidents.
You never know. New segment of the podcast, though. We are gonna hand out the paddles now.
See, I thought these were fans. These are awesome.
Yeah,
little
these
paddles.
are they're fans because it gets hot during
Auctioneers,
in
we're gonna
here.
bid on stuff.
Yeah. So the first thing we are gonna do, well, I can't even really do it because I'm the one that made it, but I guess I could still play along. Give me the mouse cone so I can run it so you guys can do it. The new segment here is called eBay Overpay. And what you guys are going to be doing here
like
is,
eBay.
and everyone at home can play too. And what they have here is some whiteboard paddles.
Just go to Dollar Tree and get your
Dollar
classic
Tree. You can get your classic paddle.
whiteboard
Yep.
paddle.
I was looking for whiteboards and they had the paddle version. I'm like, this is perfect. We could play ping pong with them.
nice. Yeah,
and we
anything.
So what we're going to be doing here is, and everyone at home listening or watching can go along with it too. We're going to be pulling up 3 items that sold on eBay, or they listed on eBay, maybe not sold, but what the starting bid was. And you're going to guess on your paddle how much the price was.
Final was.
Final.
Okay.
And for some of them, I didn't find like the when they sold or whatever, so you're going to have to
So
guess.
you have
bid.
the starting bid.
Huh?
You have the starting bid, like a bid, and then we're gonna guess what it sold for.
Nope, you're not gonna see the starting bid.
Oh, no,
You're
okay.
gonna guess the. We'll go through it here.
Just how much it sold.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
we'll start off with number 1 here. Let's see. The first item that you guys are going to be bidding
Oh
on
no!
is
This is like the
it's a Gorilla Hot Cheetos rare one of a kind Cheeto.
Harambee.
And for people listening, it is a Cheeto, a hot Cheeto shaped like a gorilla. And you know what? I'm going to play along because I don't even remember the price here. I'm just going to guess a number. I'm trying to think. Now for this one, you're guessing the winning bid, how much it sold for. Okay.
You guys bring tissues that I can.
I was just gonna use the back of my hand.
Okay.
I can wipe it off on the
I
wipe it
can-
up on the tablecloth.
mine's dark, mine's
Tablecloth. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with.
You didn't look at mine, did you,
No,
Colin?
Did
I'm
you
gonna-
look at mine, Damon?
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Did
remember.
you?
Here.
No.
Oh.
Okay, I got a price here. So everyone have their final prices now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And drum roll, please.
And then should we hold them up to the camera?
Yes, hold on to the camera. Actually, you know what? Wouldn't it be more fun to guess and then see? So no more writing, but let's put your guesses up and then, or should we reveal it first?
Let's put it.
Let's hold them up at the same time. Already?
Okay.
All right, to the camera. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I
Ooh,
guess
$1,000.
1,700.
Oh, I guess $34.99.
I got 1,000.
You gotta think though,
Damon, you gotta think.
You
This
gotta
is
think.
trendy, and
It's
people
Harambee.
just think it's hilarious.
Okay.
And people are dumb. So let's see how much the winning bid was. $99,900.
No one bought that.
Nobody-
Whoever put that on there
They
bid it
did.
up
They
themselves.
did. They bought it, but they never paid
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. So someone did pay, or someone did win the bid, but they never paid for it. I think is what happened here.
That's funny though.
Harambee Gorilla. So clear the boards off here. Everybody, like we said, the winning bid was
$34.99.
$99,000 and
That's outrageous.
Okay, they're gonna get a little easier, I think. Here, maybe we'll see if you guys are lucky. Next, eBay overpay. World's largest light bright, Da Vinci's Last Supper.
Ooh.
So this is a world record. What does that say, Damon? Right here,
Where?
right here on the top where the mouse.
Own a Guinness World Record and a Ripley's Oddity.
So Ripley's Believe It or Not and Guinness World Records have.
So this is a light
confirmed-
bright. This is a huge light bright.
And
That
look at
thing
this guy standing
gets
here.
big there.
This guy is probably 6 feet tall, and that thing is probably 10 feet. It's 6 by 10, I'd probably guess. And it is made out of those. This is an 80s thing too, Damon. Light bright.
Light bright. I thought you were gonna say the last. Like, a little
That's
before
way
that, but
yeah.
yeah, no light bright. We had a light bright.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let's see here. I'm trying to remember the. You know, I can't. That'd be cheating. I'm just gonna go.
Oh,
with-
just go with your gut.
And this is the starting bid, Damon. This is not the final starting bid here. Okay,
Oh.
so
Okay, so someone wants to get this.
this
out
is
of
how
it.
much they want to get for it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
I
say.
wrote that.
We're
Yeah.
not guessing how much it ended for.
I would pretend it's a
I don't
buy it
have
now.
the. I don't have the get. I don't have the final. Okay. All right, everybody.
Wait a second.
Collins has to change his.
Doo-doo-doo.
He's like light brights. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, light bright.
I know light bright.
Hey, how many light bright panels would that be?
Now,
to,
light brights weren't that big. They were just tabletop situations.
so you get. I
that
don't
must be
even-
a homemade
That is
one.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That-
My guess is low then.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, so I
Oh.
got 17,000.
I have $2,200.
Damon is being very generous here.
250.
Starting, got to start somewhere.
Colin's going for $250,000.
Yeah, $250,000
here. All right,
2,200.
let's figure out how much someone wanted for their light bright panel.
15 grand?
15,000. So I might have had a little unfair advantage because I made
No.
him here. So I went
I am way off.
17,000. So
Oh, but you guys didn't know you can't go over, so I got it.
Yeah.
you want to get the closest without going over. All right,
I'll
final,
get this last one.
final one here. I
right.
don't remember this one actually.
Oh, jeez.
Colin, what do we got here for sale?
I'm not reading it.
American raccoon penis bone, and I don't know what that is.
Baculum,
Baculum
Usic,
Usic gag gift.
AU authentic? Does that mean AU authentic?
And oh no. Okay, so I remember this one. AU is Australian dollar, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure.
And so the bid is going to come up in Australian, but underneath it is the United States. So we're not
Oh,
going to
this is
go
a buy it now one.
buy it now. So we have 3 different things here. So you're going to guess the American. How much did an American raccoon penis bone? And that is disturbing right there. It looks like a worm.
Yeah.
How much did the bone of a raccoon penis sell for in American dollars? It's going to show you the Australian cost. It'll cost you $1.25 in Australian dollar to ship it. Let's see here. I'm going to make a guess here, going off of how crazy these other ones were. All right, everyone ready? Colin?
This is a buy it now.
Damon's really overthinking this. This could be the most
I'm not
expensive
paying much
item.
for a raccoon.
Bone, penis bone.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. $39.99 for Damon, $500 for me, and Colin is going with another insane
one.
amount of money, $25.
I mean, I could find. Well, I'm not gonna find one, but yeah, okay.
Is this like a wishbone? Like, can you crack this? And
No, I'm not gonna crack.
all right, let's figure out who was the closest here. $4.36. So Damon is the big
All right,
winner
I was
here.
thinking fewer again.
Colin's going for $25,000 here.
You know how people are.
I could buy about 9 of them for $39.
You could collect them, Damon, for that price. We might need these here in a second, so you might want to keep these out for a final thing that we're going to be.
So Christmas shopping, go on eBay.
Christmas. Actually, no, we're not going to need these, actually. We're not going to need them because I have one more thing. We're not going to get to one of the things I want to talk about, but that is eBay Overpay, new segment where we pick out some eBay items that
I got to
are
start studying eBay prices a little better.
outrageous is what you want to call it. I would say that's pretty outrageous. Final part of the podcast here I'm going to call mailbag. Damon's been talking about doing this for a while too. And so I got something sent in to us from a viewer, and we should have brought this up when Adrian was on, but my bad, I forgot to. And maybe he sent it after Adrian. I'm not trying to, I can't remember. This right here though is the mailbag segment of the podcast. So if you send us in something, we will review it, talk about it, whatever. This week we have sent in from a fan in California, Tony. He sent in a EVP recording.
Oh.
So it is the electric, Adrian did it with us, the electric recording. Here's what he said about it. Here's one of my EVP recordings I got here in San Pedro at Fort MacArthur military base between 2 abandoned buildings. I asked, "Are you good?" but meant, "Are you well?" On the other side, it answered in a child's voice, "Good at what?" And you hear the other children laughing. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
This is the EVP. Is it this one right here? Yeah, let me turn the volume up. We might have to play it a couple times because it's kind of short.
A fan sent you this?
Fan sent me this, yeah. He does some ghost paranormal stuff, and he went out and found this recording. Let's see here.
Yep.
Let's check it out. Big moment. Here we go.
Are you good?
Okay, I'm gonna have to hear that again. I heard kids talking, but I couldn't hear them. I'm gonna turn.
I heard good at what?
Did you hear anything, Damon?
I heard some.
I'll play it again.
The wind it's very windy.
It is windy. Yeah, you're gonna hear him say, "Are you good?" and then listen for kids talking. I'll turn it up when they say it after that.
Are you good?
I heard it right there. Did you hear that, Damon?
I heard something.
Right here. Good at what?
Oh, there you go.
Good at what? And then you hear other kids in the background. That's kind of creepy.
Sounds like an extreme high-pitched kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a little kid. You know?
Like, those EVPs, they don't, like, from what I understand, they don't hear that when they're actually standing there. It's when they go back and...
They have to go back
and listen to it or something.
And that's not the thing. Adrian had a box that was going through different channels or whatever.
Yeah, that's just picking up radio signals.
This is like you're out there, you're asking
channel.
questions like Damon said, and you can't hear it when you're there. When you go back and you review your footage or your audio, you can hear people or things or whatever the ghost is talking.
Yeah, well, thanks for sending that in, Tony.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for sending that in.
As good as one as that we've heard.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty cool.
and
I wish we could have showed that to Adrian because Adrian could probably tell us a little bit more about the process, about how long, because I'm sure you got to be out there for a while asking a lot of questions and doing that.
It's kind of like my trail cam. Like,
if you find anything,
like
if you find anything,
you're excited to go back and see what you have, what you didn't see. Like, I guess you're not standing there watching. Like, but go back and like you're re-listening. Do you ever, or Ethan, do you ever find anything like when you're re-going through the tapes? Like
no, not really. The one time that we did have a weird thing happen, and we talked about this in like episode 4 of the podcast, but we used to have a website, abandonedmn.com, where we'd post pictures or whatever of us, and we posted these group pictures of us, this might have been on Instagram, and there was a picture we took, and it was in an abandoned school. You might remember this, Damon, in Iowa, and my cousin Peyton is like, "What is that thing behind you guys?" And I zoom in, and you can see like the outline of a farmer, like a guy.
Yeah,
it's at an old abandoned Iowa country school,
and it's like an old guy with a beard and like glasses standing right behind us, and that was like the creepiest thing because it was like it fit the mood and everything, and we didn't know anything, and someone else pointed it out. But no, there's never been any times when we have footage.
People wouldn't really believe us anyways because Ethan's put clowns and other
Yeah.
people on our pictures before.
Yeah.
Did Tony say anything else about the site he was on? Like, is there any backstory? Like, did he?
No,
was he
I can ask him a
research
little bit more about it. But I
maybe
thought
he'll
that was really
comment or
cool.
something.
I thought that was really cool that he sent that in and we got like a fan EVP or whatever. And it doesn't have to be ghost related stuff. It could be anything. If anyone's got like that one guy sent in that picture we showed Adrian, or it was a video with the dog. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Where
Any
the,
trail
And
cam
in
videos.
the picture, do you remember that?
If you have any big
Picture.
bucks, send them in.
Of the whatever.
oh, the picture. Yeah. We had a couple people. So
Trail
people,
cam picture,
people
yeah.
have sent in stuff before. If you have anything,
Doesn't have to be ghost.
doesn't
or
have to be
anything.
ghost. It could be alien or it could be just anything really.
Be a picture of you in the 80s.
Yeah. If you have any cool
Sure.
pictures,
Sure.
whatever, we will gladly take those and put them on here. Talk about
It's
them.
cold outside. I want to go home, put on some full-on pajamas.
Yeah.
Just get some
put on an
cocoa
80s
and
movie or
put on
something.
an 80s
There you
movie.
go.
Is that you calling it a night, Damon?
What time is it? We start early.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, well, I mean, that is.
Oh no, I'm not calling the show.
No, that is what we have for tonight. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been great to get back to the basics here with the podcast. Just have a good time and talk and, just have a good time talking about stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
This is probably my favorite episode. I'm kidding. No, it was a good one.
It was a good one. Yeah,
I
it
had
was
a good time.
It's a fun time, and we're always looking for things. Like I said in the beginning, if anyone has anything they want us to talk about, we'll be glad to bring it up and
Yeah,
discuss
we like
it and-
getting together to talk.
Yeah.
And we want to hear what you are interested in.
And
as well.
not like we're not going to have guests on in the future. We're planning on it, and if anyone has anybody they would recommend, we're obviously not going to be focusing so much on like we need a guest. We're going to do a podcast every week. If we find people to be on, then they're going to come on and they'll add to the show. If not, we're going to have fun stuff to talk about either way.
Yeah.
And so this has been a great episode. We're going to continue doing it. And if anyone, like I said, has anything they want us to talk about, I'm just going to keep nailing that down.
There's so much we could have talked about for the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I know we missed stuff that you could tell us about.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone's got anything to add to that as well. And like I said, next week, the Wilder Demon investigation is going to be coming out. So,
do we want to give this away?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, here we go.
I mean, I found this cleaning today, and right when you text me what we were going to be talking about.
We got a Rubik's Cube here for people listening. This is an 80s toy. Like
This one is a newer one because I have a classic
Yep.
one.
Brand new in the package.
Bro gave this to me a couple years ago, and then I guess
Damon's donating
I
this-
did appreciate it, Brian, but I
He's donating it to the podcast as a giveaway item. To enter to win this, all you have to do is just share the podcast, like it, tweet it, whatever. Just get it out there some way. We'll enter the names into a drawing, and someone will be the lucky winner of a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, and we'll send it to you like this. I remember when I got mine, like in the 80s, my aunt gave it to me, but it was like a tough toy to get, and she had opened it and played with it, so it was all messed up. So I never had one that was actually solved. Because you were telling me, you were telling me, Ethan, you know how to solve.
Yeah, I can do them.
Because you got to remember the.
Yeah, you got to remember the
algorithm.
algorithms. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So here, someone's
You want
gonna win.
this. You want this.
Someone is gonna win
In
that
your hands,
free,
Rubik's Cube.
free toy. Why not?
Free
Yeah.
toy. So thank
80s.
you everyone for tuning in. Next week, I am not exactly sure what's going to be happening because of Christmas and everything. We're hopefully get to it and get something out there, maybe a Christmas themed episode.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we already got the tree set up here in the background.
Yeah,
so
it's beautiful.
It's a nice little tree here at the Bark. So again, huge thank you to the Bark and
Bark,
Wyndham for letting
thank
us do this. Thank you to Damon and Colin for coming out today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in over the past 61 episodes.
Go
here.
to T-Win and get those 80s
TWinstore.com.
sweatshirts. There's some good stuff on there.
Thank you, Damon. Yeah, I'm wearing it right now. TWinstore.com. This is a newer design as it came out.
Get that
yet.
merch.
Yeah.
Get that merch. And
Merch link in bio.
Yep. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back next week. This is the Ethan Clerc Podcast Show.